morning, third grade. It is time to do some more math. And I hope that telling time and reading clocks has come easily. Hopefully my long video from yesterday explained a lot of things, and we will be using kind of those same slides again today. Our lesson today is 12.3, and we're going to be telling time to the nearest minute. So let's go ahead and review just a little bit. A clock here, the face has 12 numbers, and we know that 1 hour has 60 minutes, okay? And that's why on the inside we have the hour marks, that number 1 through 12. And on the outside, outer edge of the clock, you have all these little marks, or sometimes I'll call them ticks. And those represent each minute in that hour. And there are 5 marks in between each number. So when we get to the number 1, there has already been 5 marks. When we get to the number 2, then there's been 10, and 3, there's been 15. So we can count by 5s as we move around the clock in order to count minutes. So keep that in mind today. So we have our clock here, and I explained to you that the hour hand is the shorter hand. It points to the numbers that are on the inner circle of the clock. It's also that short guy that runs pretty slowly, but he's trying to get the job done here. And so when we count our hour, or we want to see what hour it is in the day, we'll look at our short guy and we'll ask, well, what lap is he on? Sometimes he's super close to finishing his lap, but he's not yet there, and he's still on the previous lap. The next hand that we talk about is called the minute hand, and it's much longer, and it represents the outer markings on the clock. It's going to count the minutes, and it points to the marks on the outer circle, and he runs much faster. And we can count by 5s when we try to count how many laps he has made, because he moves much faster. So let's do some examples. Actually, before we do some examples, let me review one more time about how to write your time from the clock. First, you're going to look at the hour hand. You're going to look to the little hand that points to the numbers, or the slow guy, and he's first. What lap is he on? Okay, what hour are we even in? Then you're going to move to the minute hand, and he points to the little markings on the outer circle, and he's going to basically tell us how many laps he's done as well. So hours first, then minutes. So now let's do some examples. If my hour hand is pointing here, we can see that it is on lap 6. Poor guy, he's just basically started lap 6, okay? And if I extend my arrow out, that helps a lot sometimes when I'm telling time to see exactly where he is, okay? So he's still on lap 6. And then let's look at our minute hand. He is right there on that number 3, okay? And if you remember, when he runs, we are counting by 5s, okay? So where I have 1, 2, 3 sets of 5, which would be 5, 10, 15. So he is on minute 15. It is 6:15 according to this clock. Okay, let's do another one. And this one I think is the more trickier of them. We've got an arrow, an hour hand pointing right here, and I told you he's super close to 3, but he is not on lap 3 yet. Poor guy, he is still only on lap 2. He hasn't completed it yet. So it's still on the 2 o'clock hour. And our minute hand is pointing right there to the 11, and that would mean he has completed 11 sets of 5, okay? And 5 times 11 is, hopefully we remember, 55, and so our time is 2:55. You could also count around the clock by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way till you get to 55, if that helps you. Now we're going to be telling some very exact time to the minute. What happens if it's not directly on the 11 or not directly on the 3? What if it's in between? So let's take an example like this. Hour hand first, always. What lap is it on? Hopefully you say lap 8, and you would be correct. He is on lap 8, and it is the 8th hour. And now we're going to go to our minute hand. And you can see that our minute hand, he's running here, but he is not on the 6, and he's not on the 7. He's actually right in between. So let me tell you how we would figure this out. First, I'm going to count by 5s all the way to the 6, unless I already know what 5 times 6 is. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 hopefully is what we come up with. So this is the 30-minute mark. And now I'm going to be counting on by 1 each tick or each mark I move. So this one would mean 31. So we started at 30, 31, and he's 1 more mark away, 32. So this is actually 32 minutes after 8 o'clock. So the answer would be 8:32. So I can count by 5s until I get to close to where my arrow is, and then I will continue on counting only 1 extra each time, each mark that I move. Let's do one more. And this is another interesting way to use your minute hand and count by 5s. In this example, our hour hand is really close to that 12, but would you say he's finished? No, I don't think he's finished yet. He has not gotten to lap 12, so he is still on lap 11. It is still 11 o'clock. It's not 12 yet. And our minute hand, ooh, it is super close to that 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count by 5s. And actually, if you remember 3 times 5, you might know the answer already. But if I go 5, 10, 15, I know that right here is 15 minutes past. So let's think about math here. If that's 15 minutes past, what is 1 tick above that? It would almost be 15 minus 1, right? And so I can count backwards. If it's super close, I can count backwards just as easily to get to 14. And I know that my time is 11:14. I could count to the number 2, go 5, 10, and then count on 11, 12, 13, 14. I could do that. Or I can go to the closer number and then just count backwards. You can choose which one is easier for you, which one makes more sense. But there are 60 total marks all the way around that clock. So it's easier to count by 5s till you get close, and then count on by 1s until you find the exact time to the nearest minute. So good luck with your work today. Hopefully this page is easy for you. If you have any questions, you can let me know on Zoom. Good luck.